Meeting is called to order. It's a town council public meeting for January 5th, 2021. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance, a moment of silence. I would like everybody to remember during their moment of silence the passing of Mr. Bixman, who's a former police commission member. Please remember his family in your prayers. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call.
Robert Carnahan.
Here.
John Foreman is absent. Ralph Miller.
Present.
Colleen Scheeben. Present. Richard Sharp.
Here.
Julie Rivera. Here. Randy Niemeyer.
Present.
I am present. Rick Everly.
Here.
David Austin.
Present.
Quorum is established. I will turn the meeting over to our clerk treasurer, Jen Sandberg, to call for nomination and appointment of the town council officers, town council president.
All right. New business. Is there a nomination for town council president for 2021?
I nominate Randy.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Call for other nominations now.
Are there any other nominations?
Who do I want to nominate?
Too late.
No other nominations. Then I will do roll. Robert Carnahan.
Yes.
Ralph Miller.
Yes.
Colleen Scheeben.
Yes.
Richard Sharp.
Yes.
Julie Rivera.
Yes.
Randy Niemeyer.
Yes, 6-0. Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity. We'll now open the floor for nominations for town council vice president. Are there any nominations?
I'd like to nominate Rick Sharp.
Rick Sharp has been nominated. Are there any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Is there a second to Rick Sharp?
I'll second.
Seconded by Colleen. First was by Julie. Nominations are closed. Roll call vote, please.
Robert Carnahan.
Yes.
Ralph Miller.
Yes.
Colleen Scheeben.
Yes.
Richard Sharp.
Yes.
Julie Rivera.
Yes.
Randy Niemeyer.
Yes, I was waiting for you to vote no. So next item is the town council liaisons, appointments, and committees. These are the standing committees of the council that meet on the side and give reports and recommendations at council meetings, as well as the liaison appointments of council members to serve as a connecting point to our boards and commissions. So if it's the council's pleasure, I will read through the slate that we have, and then we can vote on that slate of the town council liaison and appointments. Redevelopment Commission liaison, Bob Carnahan. Plan Commission is the three members, Richard Sharp, Robert Carnahan, John Foreman. That was voted on last meeting. Board of Safety liaison, Ralph Miller. Unsafe Building, Colleen Scheeben. She's also a voting member. Stormwater Management Board, Robert Carnahan. Joint Management Oversight Board, Ralph Miller and Rick Sharp. Northwest Indiana Regional Plan Commission, Robert Carnahan. Lake County Solid Waste, Robert Carnahan. Lake County Community Service, Ralph Miller. Ecosystem Restoration Committee, which is John Foreman, Julie Rivera, Ralph Miller. Public Works and Safety, Julie Rivera, Randy Niemeyer, Ralph Miller. Park and Recreation, Ralph Miller, Colleen Scheeben, Rick Sharp. Council Affairs, Randy Niemeyer, Rick Sharp, Ralph Miller. Streets, John Foreman, Bob Carnahan, Rick Sharp. Planning Committee, John Foreman, Rick Sharp, Bob Carnahan. Is there a motion to approve the list as read?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Miller. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Sharp. Questions or discussion? Roll call.
Robert Carnahan.
Yes.
Ralph Miller.
Yes.
Colleen Scheeben.
Yes.
Richard Sharp.
Yes.
Julie Rivera.
Yes.
Randy Neiman.
Yes, motion carries 6-0. Next, we're going to go line by line on these board and commission appointments. We'll start with the Board of Safety. We had 2 seats open. We had 4 applications. Is there a nomination on the floor for the 2 open seats?
I'd like to nominate Norm Stick and James Olatoff.
The nomination by Mr. Miller for Norm Stick and Jim Altoff. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second by Mr. Miller. Are there any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Nominations are closed. Roll call vote, please.
Robert Carnahan,
Yes.
Ralph Miller,
Yes.
Colleen Scheeben.
Yes.
Richard Sharp,
Yes.
Julie Rivera,
Yes.
Randy Neiman.
Yes, motion carries 6-0. Board of Zoning Appeals, we have 1 seat up, currently occupied by Nick Recupido. We had 2 applications. Are there any nominations on the floor for Board of Zoning Appeals?
I'd like to nominate Nick Cupido.
Nick Recupido, is there a second on that nomination?
I'll second.
Seconded by Colleen. Are there any other nominations? Any other nominations? Third call for nominations. Nominations are closed. Roll call vote, please.
Robert Carnahan,
Yes.
Ralph Miller,
Yes.
Colleen Scheeben. Yes. Richard Sharp,
Yes.
Julie Rivera,
Yes.
Randy Neiman.
Yes, motion carries 6-0. Plan Commission was approved at the 12/15/2020 meeting. That was Heather Dessauer. Redevelopment Commission, there are 5 members. It's a yearly appointment, no political affiliation. So 5 openings. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and including myself, 7 applicants. Is there a nomination on the floor by the council?
I'd like to nominate Eric Burnham, Julie Kovach,
Jolie Kovach?
Jolie Kovach, Doug Spencer, Nathan Viss, and Randy Niemeyer.
We have a nomination by Mr. Sharp. Is there a second to that nomination?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Rivera. Are there any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Nominations are closed. Roll call vote.
Robert Carnahan,
Yes.
Ralph Miller,
Yes.
Colleen Scheeben. Yes. Richard Sharp,
Yes.
Julie Rivera,
Yes.
Randy Neiman.
Yes, motion carries 5-0. Stormwater Board, or 6-0, 6-0, I'm sorry. Stormwater Board, we had 1 opening. We had 4 applicants. Is there a nomination on the floor for Stormwater Board?
I'd like to nominate Dan Enright.
There's a nomination for Dan Enright by Julie. Are there any other nominations? I'm sorry, is there a second to that nomination?
I'll second.
Second by Colleen. Are there any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Nominations are closed. Roll call vote on Dan Enright to be reappointed.
Robert Carnahan,
Yes.
Ralph Miller,
Yes.
Colleen Scheeben.
Yes.
Richard Sharp,
Yes.
Julie Rivera,
Yes.
Randy Neiman.
Yes, motion carries 6-0.
I've got a question.
Yes, sir.
Are we going to have another opening on the stormwater?
Next year.
Okay.
Unsafe building. We need 1 appointment, 1 citizen appointment. We had 2 applications. Currently, Rick and Colleen serve as the council appointees to it. Are there any nominations for Unsafe Building Commission?
I'd like to nominate Jim Ludlow.
The nomination for Jim Ludlow by Ralph. Is there a second on Jim Ludlow? Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Bob. Are there any other nominations?
I'd like to nominate Denny Wilkeny.
Okay, Denny has been nominated by Colleen. Is there a second on Colleen's nomination?
I'll second.
Seconded by Julie. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Any other nominations? Nominations are closed, so we will do a roll call vote for Jim Ludlow and a roll call vote for Denny Wilkening. So we'll consider Jim Ludlow first since he was the first nomination. Roll call vote.
Robert Carnahan,
Yes.
Ralph Miller,
Yes.
Colleen Scheeben,
No.
Richard Sharp,
No.
Julie Rivera,
No.
Randy Niemeyer.
No. Motion fails. Nomination fails 4-2. We will now vote on Denny Wilkening. Roll call vote, please.
Robert Carnahan,
Yes.
Ralph Miller,
Yes.
Colleen Scheeben,
Yes.
Richard Sharp,
Yes.
Julie Rivera,
Yes.
Randy Niemeyer.
Yes, motion carries 6-0. Denny has been appointed to the Unsafe Building. Now, council appointment to the BZA. Currently, that council appointment to the BZA, I believe, is Jerry Wilkening. Is there a nomination?
I nominate Jerry Wilken.
Jerry Wilkening has been nominated by Rick. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Julie. Are there any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Nominations are closed. Roll call vote, please.
Robert Carnahan,
Yes.
Ralph Miller,
Yes.
Colleen Scheeben,
Yes.
Richard Sharp,
Yes.
Julia Rivera,
Yes.
Randy Niemeyer.
Yes, motion carries 6-0. We now have a council appointment to the Unsafe, which I believe is Colleen. So are there any nominations for the council appointment to the Unsafe Building Commission?
I'd like to nominate Colleen again.
Second.
Nominated by Julie is Colleen, seconded by Rick. Any other nominations?
Does Rick stay on there too?
Yeah. Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Nominations are closed. Roll call vote on Colleen.
Robert Carnahan,
Yes.
Ralph Miller,
Yes.
Colleen Scheeben,
Yes.
Richard Sharp,
Yes.
Julia Rivera,
Yes.
Randy Niemeyer.
Yes, motion carries 6-0. So our boards and commissions are set. Thank you to everyone who applied and showed interest. It's always tough to do these things because there's a lot of people in the town that I know would serve the town very well. So it's always appreciated to see the interest every year in people wanting to be a part of the team. So hopefully folks continue to show their civic engagement and make sure that our self-government continues to be just that. We'll go with public comment on agenda items. Is there public comment on agenda items? Third call. Anything online, Jen? Okay, public comments closed. Our consent agenda will be the minutes of the December 29th, 2020 meeting, as well as claims. I got it. Thanks. All town funds, $1,827,604.80. Wastewater operating of $47,574.30. Water utility of $11,959.07. Stormwater of $143,982.49. Water bond of $68,710. And payroll for 12/23 and 12/31 of $234,838.06. Clerk treasurer's bond, as well as the manual journal entries for December 1 through 31, 2020. We have donations, Cuble's Holiday Incorporated, $250 donation for police UTV equipment purchase. Schilling Brothers Lumber, $400 donation for police equipment purchase. Crown Point Community Foundation, $12,000 donation for fire department for purchase of Jaws of Life unit. Crown Point Community Foundation, $10,000 donation for police department for purchase of digital camera units for evidence collection and other high priority needs. And we have the Upcycle Rain Barrel event sales, February 22 through April 15, 2021, pickup April 22 from 2 to 5 p.m. Is there a motion to accept and waive the reading of the minutes and accept the consent agenda as listed?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Sheben, second by Mr. Sharp. Questions or discussion?
Yes. Anybody that has the agenda, item number 1, the minutes of December 15th isn't on there. That'll be on the next agenda. And number 4, number 5, and number 6, we did not include in our consent agenda. As Jennifer indicated, that'll be on the next meeting.
Yes.
And I would also like to indicate, looking at the cash summary, ending December 31st, we started 2020 off with almost $2 million in the general fund. And due to some good work, I don't know if it's court treasurer or who, but we're starting 2021 with over $3 million compared to where we used to have to borrow money all the time.
I remember, Bob, my first term on the council, every year it was 600, 700,000 from the from the wastewater funds to just start the year to pay the bills, to pay the employees. So the growth of the community, big part of it. I think good budgeting. We had a heck of a good team this year working on the budget, including Jennifer and our department heads and our consultant. Folks did a diligent job. So it's better to start off like this than where we were 8 years ago, so it's great you made that comment, Bob. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Robert Carnahan,
Yes.
Ralph Miller,
Yes.
Colleen Scheeben.
Yes.
Richard Sharp,
Yes.
Julia Rivera,
Yes.
Randy Neiman.
Yes, motion carries 6-0. Before we start the business of the council, I want to add an agenda item under the town manager reports. This will be the consideration of a project for submittal of an application for the new round of community crossings grants. So that will be added. Mr. Eberly, you can present it under the town manager reports.
Sir.
Okay. Plan Commission Performance Letter of Credit. We have Summer Winds Development LLC Unit 2. Mr. Eberly.
There's 3 of them, as I think you might have mentioned, Mr. President. Mr. Austin has had a chance to review those upon recommendation of Mr. Oliphant, and all are ready to be accepted by the town council if you so inclined.
Thank you. What is the performance letter of credit amount for on the Summer Winds Development LLC Unit 2?
$179,817.13.
Can you repeat that, please?
$279,817.13.
Okay, so the letter of credit is for $279,817.13. That's for the record. Is there, what's that?
Unit 2.
For Unit 2? Is there a motion by the council to accept as presented?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Sharp. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Sheben. Questions or discussion? Roll call.
Robert Carnahan,
Yes.
Ralph Miller,
Yes.
Colleen Scheeben.
Yes.
Richard Sharp,
Yes.
Julia Rivera,
Yes.
Randy Neiman.
Yes, motion carries 6-0. Item 2 is a performance letter of credit for Summer Winds Development LLC, Unit 3. Mr. Austin, do you have a number on that one?
Do $14,575.48.
And is that letter in order?
It is.
Thank you. Is there a motion by the council to accept the performance letter of credit of $14,575.48 for Summer Winds Unit 3?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Rivera,
I'll second.
second by Ms. Sheben. Questions or discussion? Roll call.
Robert Carnahan,
Yes.
Ralph Miller,
Yes.
Colleen Scheeben.
Yes.
Richard Sharp,
Yes.
Julie Rivera,
Yes.
Randy Niemeyer.
Yes, motion carries 6-0. Item 3, performance letter of credit, Lennar Homes of Indiana Incorporated, Rose Garden Estates, Unit 2. Mr. Austin.
This is an amount for phase 2 or unit 2. It is $1,685,193.13.
We have a performance letter of credit for the amount of $1,685,193.13. Is there a motion by the council to accept that?
So
I'm-
moved.
Motion by Mr. Sharp. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Sheben. Roll call.
Robert Carnahan,
Yes.
Ralph Miller,
Yes.
Colleen Scheeben,
Yes.
Richard Sharp,
Yes.
Julie Rivera,
Yes.
Randy Niemeyer.
Yes, motion carries 6-0. New business, Christopher Burke Engineering Master Services Agreement. This is for, to put into record what their charges for this year will be. And so to go down the list, looks like there were minor increases from last year. We got here 122 an hour, or, yeah, 122 an hour for principal, 106 for an engineer 6, 96 for engineer 5, 91 for engineer 4, 84 for engineer 3, 79 for engineer 1 and 2. And on down the list, minor changes from last year. It includes all the way down to administrative cost of $47 an hour. Is there a motion by the council to accept the Christopher Burke Engineering Master Services Agreement?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Carnahan. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Rivera. Questions or discussion? Roll call.
Robert Carnahan,
Yes.
Ralph Miller,
Yes.
Colleen Scheeben,
Yes.
Richard Sharp,
Yes.
Julie Rivera,
Yes.
Randy Niemeyer.
Yes, motion carries 6-0. I want to send an email to, I know we were vetting 3 different firms for financial services to take the place of London Witty. If nobody objects, I'd like to send an email to Mr. Crone soliciting that same sort of master services agreement for the council to consider at our next meeting. Would that, anybody object to that?
No.
Okay, then I'll solicit that for a agenda item for next meeting. They did a great job with our team and they're working on our sustainability plan. So Mr. Austin,
Will that be inclusive of the services for the capital financing and the like, for which last year we used the Crow firm?
it would just be a master services agreement like what we considered for Christopher Burke. So it'd be a list of prices, just a general,
And on an assignment basis?
Yeah.
Got it.
yeah, I mean, we use Crow for
Finance.
our larger finance stuff, and we've used Crone now for our internal, our operational, our budgeting, and now some of our planning services, which again, they've been absolutely terrific. So good fit for our town. Would you agree?
I like Corby very much.
Good. Yeah, good people, really knowledgeable. So I'll solicit that for our next meeting. Item 2 is Klein and Lakeshore Drive temporary easement agreement releases. Mr. Everly.
These are a series of about a dozen temporary easements that we had to acquire for the construction of the roundabout, Mr. President. So we're releasing those easements back to those property owners. I believe, David, you created this.
I drafted all those.
You drafted all the documents there, so. Property owners and key numbers are listed on each one of them. That require Randy's signature and Jennifer's signature. And then, David, we had a question about the page 3 of these documents where there's a notary signature required. Is that something that's going to be organized or arranged by your office?
I can,
They will come to your office and sign this, or?
or we'll come here. That's based upon law in Indiana that became effective last July 1st, where the General Assembly felt it prudent to suggest and require
One of the strange laws.
that there be a witness
For-
to a notary, to a signator on legal documents that require recordation.
So a notary is a person who's a legal witness, and now they need a witness to the witness.
That's about Rick, so. before we
Insanity.
Complete the recordation, we need that, but I'll take care of that.
Government's ridiculous. Amen and
Is that a
amen.
paid position?
You can be paid to be a notary.
Oh, yeah.
It's about $4 an hour,
All right.
maybe a little less.
Well, that's what Todd makes now as the chief, so
Better than the overtime I get now.
you'd have to work more than 40 hours first.
Time to sign up.
Just paid.
Dave, are all the easement agreements in order and ready to be presented to the owners?
They are, they track with the project. We drafted all the easements when the
Okay.
project was designed. This is a cleanup for the folks from whom we did take temporary use of their land.
Is there a motion by the council on the temporary easement agreement releases
I'll make the motion
to approve?
to approve.
Thank
Yes.
you. Motion by Ms. Sheben,
I'll second.
second by Mr. Sharp. Questions or discussion? Roll call.
Robert Carnahan?
Yes.
Ralph Miller?
Yes.
Colleen Scheeben?
Yes.
Richard Sharp?
Yes.
Julie Rivera?
Yes.
Randy Neimeyer?
Yes, motion carries 6-0. We have town council reports. Bob?
The 2 Crown Point Community Foundations that the police and fire department received, I would like Rick to prepare a letter to thank them for their donations and have all the town council sign.
Maybe could we have like the fire chief, police chief sign as well?
Already in the process.
They've done.
Yeah, they've done locally,
good.
but I would like the town council.
No problem,
to do
Bob.
it.
Perfect.
That was a very easy grant. They called and said, what do you need? And that was it.
Those are the right kind of grants.
Okay, yeah, that's great. Yeah.
And it did the paperwork, so.
Well, it's even better for us is we didn't even ask for that amount of money. We
Right.
were only gonna replace a few cameras at a time. And she came back and said, how much to replace them all? I'm like,
Nice.
okay, here you go. And
Yeah.
So you got $10,000.
Jen called me and said, hey, you got the money, so I'm like, all right.
No, I
Awesome.
asked for all of it, so.
You asked for at least $1 million, didn't you,
At
Todd?
least $500,000.
You said how much you got?
Is the foundation liquid? We're about to drain it.
I will say this as a public comment. The Crown Point Community Foundation has been super amazing to the police department, and I'm sure the fire department, for donations and equipment in the past several years. They have been outstanding to us. They reached out to our grant writer and said, we love working with you guys. You show the stuff that we purchase, the money that we use. Because we always take photos with it, and I know the chief does as well, and get it out to the public to show that that money is going to great use. They've been absolutely amazing to us. So the lady's name's Mary, and she's just wonderful. Whenever we need something, we approach her and say, hey, this is what we're looking at. Let's see what we can do.
Awesome.
So,
That's great.
Any other council reports? I have one. I'd like to thank my fellow council members for appointing me as the council president again. I believe this is my 9th time as being appointed. I'm definitely not going for the record. I think Bob has that record.
No, you do now.
I do?
Oh.
I thought you had 10.
Bob, you are counting.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I knew you were counting.
all I hope to do is to run orderly meetings and hopefully keep the agenda of the people front and center. and make sure that we are doing the business that the people have asked us to do. I do not want to be council president next year because I do intend to run for a political office. So during those campaign years, I think it's better to have someone who's not conflicted with campaign duties to take care of that business. So I appreciate the nomination this year and the opportunity to serve again for my 9th time. And I will do so at your pleasure. And if there is anything that any of you need to see on the agenda or think that needs to be looked at and changed as far as direction, everybody has my phone number. Give me a call. Be happy to change direction whenever requested. So thank you. Town attorney, clerk treasurer.
Council, we are in receipt of the 1782 notice from the DLGF. Our budget for 2021 was approved as submitted, so off to a
Wow.
good start. It's been entered into our program. Department heads received their budgets today. So here we go.
Well, thank you again to the taxpayers.
Amen.
What a great community we live in during a time of crisis where we had such a high tax collection rate of 97%. There's lots of places that can't say that. So we're very blessed. We live in a great community. So thank you for that report, Jen. Town manager?
Mr. President, as you mentioned earlier in this meeting, I'd like to bring up the issue of, we just learned today that the Community Crossing Matching Grant Program is open. Applications for that are open for the first quarter of this year. They're due by January 29th. The suggestion is that we apply for funds for Parish Avenue, which we were going to do anyway, from 133rd to 137th with our own dollars. That project is, according to the engineer, it's close enough being ready that we could apply for matching grant dollars for it. So why not go for 50-50 money as opposed to 100% local? But it will take an action by the street committee to recommend that we make that application for that project. So I would be looking for the street committee to make that recommendation.
I'll make that motion as a member of the street committee and
I'll second it as a member of the street committee.
to make a recommendation.
To make a
to town
recommendation,
council
right.
That we
Okay.
apply for the community crossing grant for January 29th, 2021. And I asked the town manager, I didn't think we could do this because I thought we had to complete our current projects, and Don Oliphant says we can go ahead and apply for it.
And I will double check that with him in the morning.
So we have a recommendation from the street committee to proceed with the application for Community Crossings Grant for Parish Avenue from 133rd to 137th. Is there a motion by the council?
Make a motion to proceed.
Motion by Ms. Rivera. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Sheehan. Questions or discussion? Discussion. Please put on the record the need for Fairbanks as well. Maybe not with this round, but as more availability comes, or if there is some available monies because of possibly getting a 50-50 grant, maybe look into doing some work on Fairbanks because it has been heavily used during several construction seasons, and it is beat up pretty bad.
And a comment on that.
You're welcome, Bob.
I want to thank you, but Crown Point Community School Corporation is going to expand the MacArthur School.
Right.
And they're going to make Timothy Ball and MacArthur have the capacity to have 700 students at each school. And it's my understanding that in Center Township going into St. John, those kids are going to come to MacArthur, and Copper Creek, all those kids are going to come to MacArthur. So
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot more
we're gonna have
traffic.
A lot more buses going down that road.
So that'll need to be front and center as far as main thoroughfare repairs.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion and second. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Robert Carnahan,
Yes.
Ralph Miller,
Yes.
Colleen Sheehan,
Yes.
Richard Sharp,
Yes.
Julia Rivera,
Yes.
Randy Neiman.
Yes, motion carries 6-0. Director of Operations. Police Department, Chief Fisher.
Nothing for the council this time.
Fire Department, Chief Wilkening.
I have two things. We've set a record as far as calls this year, 1,525 calls with a 3-month lull in calls due to COVID. We estimated if we did not have the COVID issue, we would have been around 1,900 calls this year.
Congratulations.
Which would have been a 600 call increase from last year.
Wow.
One thing I would like to ask the council, you did approve a nice raise for my people this year. I would like to, we're going to lose some more people. And it's a never-ending bleeding battle. But we did talk about slowly getting them to the point where we're competitive. I think one more substantial raise for our people and we'll be there. So I would ask this council to consider that throughout this year, to maybe look at another point in time. We did talk about this in this year, if there was money available to boost my guys one more time to get us to the point where we're at we'll be at the very bottom end, but we'll be competitive. Right now, we're still about $10,000 shy of everybody around us, and that's what's causing the loss of some of our people, even with the increase. And I thought another 5,000 would probably put us in the ballpark for each person. It would stop the bleeding quite nicely. So I'm asking the council to consider that. And Jen, if there would be some way to look at that either sooner or sometime this year, then I shouldn't have to come back and worry about losing more people next year. Right now, I have one person for sure leaving, and I have 3 others that have applied elsewhere. That's 4 people. If 4 people leave, I lose a whole shift. And I really don't know how we're going to sustain that. But I did put out an advertisement already for an emergency hire to replace the one person that definitely has said he's going. In fact, I shouldn't say he's definitely going. It's supposed to inform me tomorrow. He went and accepted the offer in St. John. So other than that, I have been working with the township trustee in reference to a fire truck. His board is meeting tonight as well to discuss a tanker. We kind of switch gears from a pumper to a tanker, way less money. We feel that we could make it work pretty well if the township would like to do that. The equipment that we bought EMS wise, 99% of it's in. We're waiting on one more part, and then the loader will go in the ambulance. And at the end of this month, next meeting, I'll have a complete year-end report for you. Thank you.
So part of our sustainability plan that we've been working on that came out of last year's first council meeting or second council meeting is looking at how to sustain this forward movement. So that's in our sights for public safety. We've put a huge priority on police and fire as part of that sustainability plan. So that focus is there and it will continue. We want to make sure that our public safety departments are always properly staffed because it's not going to be easier to recruit people and sustain a force in that particular profession.
Don't get mad if I remind you.
You always will.
I'm not going to stop. We got to do it. So
I've enjoyed those reminders over the last 11 years now.
Well, finally, if you're going to run for another office, I can vote against you somewhere. Right now,
Well, who says I won't run for council? You could vote against me.
All right.
They do it in other states. Georgia,
They're doing it
Pennsylvania,
tonight,
vote from
yeah.
out of state. So what the
No,
heck?
I appreciate the support. I really do appreciate the move and the large step that we took this year alone. But if we could get to that by the end of the year, to that next level, I think we would be a lot better off by the end of the year. Than we
I can
are
tell you, we're going to stay focused on public safety, Chief.
now. Very good. Thank you.
No doubt. Work session items, we had park impact fees. Mr. Eberly.
Well, Taki Arshami is here with us this evening. He
I
is-
couldn't recognize him in his mask.
He is the principal of the Arsh Group who has put this together for us, and kudos to him to doing it on such short notice. We sort of got late in the year when we realized that we were up against the deadline. He was already working on an impact fee in a neighboring community, and he put this together for us very quickly, and we appreciate that. So, Doggy?
Thank you, Rick. Good evening, everybody, and Happy New Year. It's really a pleasure to be here. I do want to start by thanking not only Rick and Joe, also Attorney Austin, as I had to put him to work over the holiday weekends, and I received the final approval literally yesterday. And he has spent considerable amount of time reviewing the full document. And as I left the office today, I submitted to him the final document. So you don't have it right now, but you will receive it hopefully, the final document tomorrow. The purpose of tonight is to, let me take this ugly thing off. The purpose of my presence here is just to brief you where we are, what we have done, and you will receive the ordinance officially, or passing the ordinance in your next meeting. We will be going to Plan Commission tomorrow for their review and approval. And we have, as Rick said, we had to go through a very fast-paced process, and I am pleased to let you know that we worked as usual, as we did last time, with a group of folks that you had appointed, very interesting, and they literally sat there for 3 hours because of the shortness of time to meet with us and review all of the materials that we have prepared for the impact fee. As you're all aware, the impact fee is something that you have done for 3 times now. This would be the third. And you are asking the newcomers, residential, to pay their fair share of the park services. So you can build similar sort of park services for them, since they have not, they are going to use these services. So it is an equity type of fee, despite, a lot of misgivings about it, but it is something that they are going to use, and they are paying their fair share. This year we had, I think you have received this little briefing as a part of your package. The process is basically we look at the total service units, those are the households, and the total.
We haven't received the package.
Yeah, but you haven't received this?
Isn't that what you just said? You sent to Dave?
This was, no, this was sent a couple of weeks ago.
No, if you want to give me that, I'll make some real quick copies. Because that's not in your.
This is the briefing, just a briefing.
Okay, go
The
ahead.
council and the plan commission. Now let me go, I have an extra copy. What we basically have done is we look at all the assets of the parks department, and this is a very detailed analysis of those costing of those assets, and also valuing the land, park land. Those become your total assets for the parks. The total households of the town, that is another side of the equation, and we do variety of type of analysis to come up with a unified number of what we call service units, or that is for park service unit, and for this time we analyzed those numbers was 4,855 service unit. In other words, if you put all of the families together and turn through a series of analysis, turn these to park service units, that's the total number of service units. We divide your total asset to your total service unit. That gives you the cost of per service unit cost. Your total asset is 8,683,000, and that includes all the land, and it is a decrease in value of previous time, and that shows. Literally, it's a congratulations to you. Shows your commitment to parks and recreational facilities in this community, and the more assets you have, the more you can, in effect, charge for fee, because that's the cost. And so we then translate the numbers that we come up with, and in this round, the number actually was calculated at $2,015 per service unit. That means for every household.
Rick, you sent an email to all of us with this
Yeah.
presentation. I've got it pulled up here on the phone.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Todd,
Yeah.
for interrupting.
No problem.
Thank you.
I got mine on my phone.
Yeah.
You can pass it along.
Thank you.
No, it
No,
was
this was the early
Thank you.
one, yeah.
January, yeah, January 4th you sent it. So, yeah, it was yesterday.
We just got this in our.
So what we, the fee per, or the total net cost of impact, park impact cost per household is $2,015. And what, in effect, that means your total assets per household. This town has about $2,000 worth of park assets per household. And we discussed several options with the committee, and they spent considerable amount of time discussing these and reviewing what the other communities they are charging. And there is in that handout, there is a table that shows what other communities charge currently, and then they decided to stay sort of competitive with other communities, and so that's the rate that they agreed was $1,700 to recommend to you, $1,762. That rate is about 87% of the calculated fee. That is the $2,015. And this decision was unanimous by all committee members. And I do want to express my appreciation. And in these committee meetings, both Mr. Austin as well as city staff were present, and provide, as well as myself, providing additional information and conversations with them. If this is adopted by the council, that is the recommended rate, and that would be, as I mentioned, is smaller than the most closest communities to Cedar Lake, that is St. John and Sherville. Your fee is still be less than what those communities charge for them. In terms of historical record, last fee was $1,215, and this would be $1,762. That is, at least that's what they are recommending. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
So the action on the page here, it goes to the Plan Commission tomorrow for an amendment and certification on January 6th. Then it goes to the town council for approval and adoption of an ordinance on January 19th. And then the effective date is 6 months after the adoption of the ordinance by the town council.
That's correct. And you approved the same January, but happened to be the same January 19 last round. So there will not be any lapse in your fee.
So Dave, will you have the ordinance ready on January 19th?
Bob, everything is ready.
It's already sent.
And is that a 2 reading or a 1 reading?
two-reading ordinance.
So if it passes unanimously, we can have a second reading.
But, yes, up to you.
Remember, Dave worked through the holidays. Did we get charged double for that, by the way?
Holiday pay.
Just check.
One-to-one with red hot.
Okay,
No, it's all right.
thank you.
It's red hot. Oh, for God's sakes. I
Thank
wasn't
you.
reading one of Todd's contracts. So he's got- he needs a barrel thing for that.
Hey, we'll get it in 2022.
Tagi, thank you very much
Yes,
for
no,
your,
thank you. Thank
your
you.
work. Does anybody have any questions?
Sure, they're not a hieroglyphics.
I have a question.
That shot
In the
last.
discussions with the committee, why did they settle on 87% of the recommended amount? What was the reason given behind that?
They reviewed other communities, basically they were driven less. And last time you had set your fee at 65%. And they felt that that was an increase of that percentage rate. Because you had the 1215 that you had last term was 65% of the calculated rate. This time the calculated rate was $2,015, and they didn't want to stay with 65%. They felt that they could go higher as a percentage and still stay competitive with adjoining communities. And that's how they went up and down, and that was the
Okay.
final decision. Anybody else? I think, Rick, you want to add anything? 'Cause you
I
were
think
just-
that's accurate.
Yeah, and,
Okay,
that is my sort of sense of the conversation.
They were comfortable with the number of 1762, Randy, and it wound up being 87%.
okay. I wasn't sure how it came down from the 100% to
Yeah.
where that was, but it was more of a comparison model of how it came down rather than project-based.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions? I have one comment. Park impact fees, I think, are vital, and over the next 5 years, we should, if the economy stays somewhat normal, build 1,000 homes. That would be, almost $1.8 million. We currently have 1.1 million in that fund. The council several years ago had set its sights and paid for architectural work on Bartlett Wahlberg Park, which the architectural work would have filled in that park with so much stuff. I don't know if anybody had been able to use it, but at the very least, we've talked in council meetings about the installation of picnic shelter, as well as a bathroom facility, and also the starting of a recreational lane along Moore Street to eventually connect to the Founder's Creek Recreational Trail Corridor. I think those two projects in themselves are ones that we need to get not just talking about, but actually put together an action plan, that this money that sits in there now, as well as what we will be collecting, can be spent on it, and people can start to see the benefit of their building permit fees when they build their homes. Folks that move in here can say, hey, this is a pretty good lifestyle here. We have some nice parks to enjoy. We have a lakefront park that's enhanced and can enjoy a recreational trail. We need to start investing this money, and we need to do it right away. We've sat on it for a while, and we can't sit on it anymore. So I want to make sure the council is engaged, and Rick, the town manager, is engaged in not just having the plan, but executing the plan.
And you brought up, Mr. President, the number of housing. You have had, I can tell you, more than 1,000 for the last 5 years.
Just as an estimate, we'll have at least 1,000. I mean, it could be more.
And, yeah, it is incredible growth, and you're basically second to St. John. St. John has about 300 units.
But they get all the publicity. The Times doesn't even come to our meetings, which is fine. We're good with it. Let them have
Yeah,
all the
but
publicity.
when we looked at your active subdivisions that you have enough subdivisions planned that you could continue that trend of over, close to 300 units annually.
Yeah, it won't last forever. So while we have this momentum, I think we need to get the plan prioritized and start putting together action. One after another, pick them off, give the people what they're paying for. Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Town email addresses.
This was a topic that was brought up, Mr. President, I think you brought it up because you wanted to make sure that all board and commission members had a town email address. So the last several pages of your packet there, Cliff put these together for us in terms of a cost for each email exchange and who has them currently. So this is a up-to-date current list of those that have town email addresses. And you can see that it's going to run $4 to $7 per email address. And I'm sorry, I forgot to ask Cliff if that.
Yeah, we don't have that in our packet.
You
I
don't
can see.
you don't have the last.
Mm-mm.
I'm looking and.
But it doesn't sound like it's an exorbitant amount. And to me, what it's about is
$38.
it's about transparency,
Right.
and you get public records requests. It's a heck of a lot better for the public servants and for the public if these email addresses are housed on the town server with the town's domain. And that way it is a very clean and simple process rather than having to go dig through somebody's personal emails. And sometimes you don't know what you'll find, or you don't want to know what you'll find. So it's better that we have professional emails that are accessible for those purposes.
Right. So it's a minimal expense.
Yeah.
And we can make sure that we get and have an email address, town email address for all board and commission members.
Will there be a policy established in, or sub-policy within the personnel policy to remind our folks this isn't yours to use personally, and it's for town business only, and, all those good things that sometimes people forget?
As
I
you
think
know,
that's important.
We need to update the personnel policy anyway, so we'll have that policy within the personnel policy.
Yeah, I mean, digital communications, it's where we are now, so we got to make sure that this is done the right way too. All part of being open government.
Being right government.
Yep. Thank you for that work, Mr. Eberly. Will that be able to be prepared as an agenda item for the final total cost of that, if we can calculate that and then have that as part of the council's next agenda?
Yes.
And that way that's approved, and that could also be updated then in the personnel policy manual.
Yes.
Written communication, did we have any? I don't see any.
Do you have a building report on numbers?
I don't.
Of year-end building report, probably next meeting. Okay, open public comment. Mary Joan.
I want to take this off if that's okay.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Mary Jo Dixon, 8711 West 132nd Place. One of the priorities I hope we look at for parks is an athletic complex. You have people here at the meeting, you've had numerous complaints. Our town is growing, and so is those athletic departments, those two athletic fields of participants. And I really don't think it's going to last long. The complaints are just going to continue. So I would hope that maybe that would be also on the plan, somewhere to create an athletic complex that we could actually house all these kids and their parents' cars.
So I can speak to that a little. At the last RDC meeting, we talked about looking at opportunities to partner as part of an possible economic package, partner on a portion of land of a possible commercial development that would help to expand those athletic facilities. So that's definitely on the radar as something within the planning, and it needs to happen, because you're right. I mean, we get people from the neighborhood over there that come to these meetings, and they complain about the traffic, and we got people from softball that are upset with Little League and people from Little League upset with softball. And really the resolution to it is they got to have more space. So I agree. The athletic complex would be huge. It's been a great boom for Crown Point to have that investment in athletics. So agree 100%, Mary Joan. That's a great idea.
Yeah, I asked, should we be working with those two organizations or just go private?
I think we would have to bring everybody in to really partner on this thing and make sure it fulfills the needs. So I don't think the town wants to get in the business of managing athletics. So it would have to be utilizing the people that are there to kind of guide the process as far as I'm
You
concerned.
need to understand the parameters.
Yeah.
Having those folks help you understand. the
Yeah, if the
parameters.
town says, hey, you know what, we're gonna sponsor and as part of a partnership with somebody, the building of 3 fields, well, maybe that's not what they need. So I don't know if we're in the position to make a decision for them, but it's gonna have to be a collaborative effort.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary Joan. Any other public comment?
Mr. President, Jill texted me because, as you know, she's on by Zoom, and she reminded me that the building department report is provided at the second meeting.
Got it. You're not a member of the public.
Yes, I am. 12315 Kennedy Street, Cedar Lake, Indiana. I'd like to thank the council for the flowers, town staff, personnel that came to my brother's wife, my sister-in-law's funeral. It's been a rough time for our family. And I'm not up here looking for some sympathy or anything or any type of pat on the back. The only thing I'm saying is I went for my shot today. I got the first shot of the 2. And if you're one of those people that are reluctant to do it, if you were able to see what our family witnessed over a 60-day period, I don't think you would hesitate. So I'm here to encourage everybody to make a very good, strong choice in whether or not you want to take the shot. But it really was no big deal today. My arm didn't fall off yet, maybe by tomorrow, but I'm feeling good. Our people in the department are taking it. But to watch my sister-in-law deteriorate as quickly as she did when it was an up and down battle, I know that if she would have had the opportunity 2 or 3 weeks prior to becoming sick, she would have probably taken it. So I know, like I said, there's a lot of controversy out there about it, but please, for your family's sake and for everybody's sake, you're going to have the opportunity very soon. The turnout is not very good. St. Anthony's is not seeing that many people. Literally, I was there in less than 15 minutes to get my shot. Right now, public safety is, and healthcare workers are the priority, but it's going to open up very soon for everybody else.
When do you have to get
strongly
that
take
booster?
it. 21 days from today.
21 days.
21.
And which version did you get?
I got the Pfizer. Yeah. St. Anthony's has a Pfizer. The other one, the Moderna. Yeah, that's the one that's, you got to wait a little bit longer. And then the new one coming out is a 1 shot. So, but to me, it didn't really matter. I was going to get it. My father also got it today. And, you know, and as old as he is, he hasn't had any issues with it yet today. So I'm not going to happen to him, but
There's hope for us, Ralph.
you two guys, if you can get out of the restaurant early enough in the morning and then get
Thanks,
the
Chief.
shot, so you guys can be all right. So
You're stereotyping now.
it was, yeah, you wouldn't expect anything different.
No,
The,
not at all.
but the horror that we actually had to watch her,
Yeah.
you know, a relatively healthy girl go through was pretty
How's your
bad.
brother doing?
He's doing pretty good. Yeah, he's, you know, he's got, you know, like anybody else, he's got times. The holidays were bad for us. They really
Yeah.
were, so. But hopefully he can bounce back, and I got enough stuff for him to do with the fire station.
And your niece is doing well?
My niece went back to New York, yeah.
Okay.
Everything is somewhat back to normal with them.
It was good to see your family. It's always tough to see them at a gathering like that for that
Yeah.
reason, but it was good to see the Wilkening clan there, and it's always fun to share some good memories, and there was a lot of good memories shared that night, so I appreciated being there.
Yeah, and like I said, I appreciate everybody that came. I know some of you weren't able to come, but the town was well represented as far as staff, contractors, everybody. There was so many flowers and stuff, but Dean's fellow workers brought a whole bunch of donations and stuff like that, so. But like I said, I'm trying to encourage as many people to get that shot as possible. Because I was even kind of skeptical at first when they first started talking about it. I did a lot of research myself. And I just, after watching what happened to her and how quickly it happened, I'd like to see everybody have that opportunity to not be in that position. So, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Todd.
Chief.
Thank you.
Is there any other public comment? Any other public comment? Third call, public comment. Public comment is closed. Our next council meeting will be Tuesday, January 19th at 7 PM, preceded at 6:30 PM by a utility board meeting. This meeting is adjourned.